Hello everybody, video here for you today. I'm Coach Steve Money. Across from me is Zig. What up, Zig?
Howdy, howdy.
This is what we call the Curse of Oak Island, looks back and ahead, and it's where we take a look at the previous episode with any thoughts, comments, that kind of thing, and also the next episode based on the preview. So let's get going. Alright, so this is the Money Pit area by the garden shaft, and that's the baby blob in red. If you're not familiar with it, that's where the high trace evidence content of precious metals is in the water. And since the flooding the previous week in the garden shaft, they still wanted to get some work done in the Money Pit this year before they ran out of time. And so they picked these red dot locations to drill boreholes into to try to confirm that those readings and try to confirm basically just try to see what's down there if they hit anything interesting.
I mean, maybe even expanding the area of the baby blob. If they get gold or silver
Sure,
readings at
if
either
it's
of those
just
two
as right, if
locations,
it's just
the
as
baby the
high,
baby blob grows up, right?
that could
Now
become
it's
a
now it's teen blob.
teen blob. That's a good point. That's a good point, but I'm still hopeful that they'll be able to do some horizontal drilling from 55 foot in the garden shaft. That was the plan. I don't know if there's a reason that maybe that was going to take too long to drain it or whatever, and so they just decided not to do that at all. Or if
They
they'll
maybe
try
even had to
it,
file
yeah,
for new permits.
could
I don't
be,
know,
could be.
because now they're renovating a flooded shaft. I don't know. Who knows?
Alrighty.
They do.
They do. You're right. This is the Cistercian Abbey, where the
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road was the last episode, and Cistercians. They have ties to Freemasons and Templars, according to Charles Barkhouse. Also, Doug Kroll confirmed it. And built by the Cistercians, I believe that was 1100 on this.
For the Abbey, yeah, I think that's when they
Yeah,
said that was built. Yep.
and they noticed the plates, pointed out the plates as basically like a Templar symbol with the that has the cross and then the dots
Which
around it.
also represents Jerusalem
Right, that's right. It
and the
does.
four corners of the
Mm-hmm.
world.
You got it.
I was a little put off by the symmetry as well.
Right, right. It's like it's got two of the same thing here,
Yeah,
but then different, and stuff. And yeah, people
I'm like,
noticed about that in the
they, why didn't they put the fish in the
podcast,
middle?
in the J Free 906 podcast.
Yes.
Okay, definitely go see him and tell him Steve and Zig sent you over there. And this is inside, beautiful, obviously, beautiful work,
Just stunning.
right? Absolutely.
All brickwork too, just amazing
Mm-hmm.
brickwork.
So many bricks.
Oh yeah.
And this is the scriptorium in there, a place where they copied books, studied books, actually, and even uh, wrote books as well. Several different
Illuminated books.
documents. Yes,
Excuse
absolutely.
me.
And while after Emilio was talking and after he was, Alex noticed Tree of Life on this column right here, and
Along
below
with
it,
Mandalorian.
yeah, and below it, possibly it looks maybe like a
Oh yeah.
face, like I
You
thought
called
maybe
that out. It
Jesus,
does look
but then there's something. What else did they say it was
like a tomb.
at the bottom? Yeah,
Yeah. Perhaps it is the empty tomb. But there did look like there was somebody in it.
right. And Rick noticed this. He said these were oak leaves. I can't verify that oak leaves are like this and that they're different than any other place.
Where did I saw that?
I know there's some kind of oaks I think that grow in England now, but it may not have been the case back
Yeah, and I
then.
saw I think Cat F said that oaks were not indigenous to Europe.
Right, and they may have brought them there, took them there later.
Yeah, somebody took a
Okay.
seed somewhere, right?
But what stuck out to me about this is this looks like kind of like almost like a reverse Templar symbol because this is the dots making the cross, and then the
Hmm.
edge, the stems of the oak leaves are like where the dots would be at the four
Good
places in
catch. It does
between
look like
there.
that.
I mean, who knows? Could be just a coincidence. It could just be they put them there for symmetrical
I mean,
reasons,
it
but
even looks
I
like a
just thought
holly
it'd be.
bush to me because like
Oh
the
yeah,
hollies have the red berries on them and
yeah,
they got the pointy leaves on them,
that
so
could be.
those will look a little more rounded. But it kind of one of them does have a point. Here I am pointing at the screen again.
That's right. You'll stop that one day. Actually, I mean, if that helps you,
I probably
just
won't. You'll just get
keep
used
doing
to
it.
it. People will
That's
be
fine.
like, "That's the guy that points at the screen on YouTube."
Right, there you go. They'll figure it out. And then we have the find by Moya in lot 5. And after everybody getting really excited about it, it ends up being a button. When she
Yeah,
flips it over and you see where not the clasp, what is that called? I can't remember where the other piece
the
stuck
hoop,
to it.
the loop, the hoop. I don't know what they
It's
call
the
that either.
place you thread it
Yeah, where the
into,
threading goes
yeah.
through. Hmm.
And
The
so
eyelet.
it
I
is
don't know.
missing that piece, but you can see where that was mounted onto it. And
It's so
so,
big
but
too. It's a large button.
pretty cool. But Google Lens, no help at all on that. As far
No.
as that pattern, apparently Laird found similar items in
Yeah.
the 16 and 1700s,
Well, all the way back to
right?
medieval, he said,
And of
right?
course,
So,
the right and the metal in it, Emma says 1300s. Could
yeah.
go back as far.
Tin
So,
and lead, right?
yes, a tin base
Tin
and lead covered,
encased in lead,
which is
yes.
very interesting. And that also, I think they said would be a Scandinavia thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what a large button too. I
Right,
mean,
very, very
must have been like
large.
a cloak button or a.
Right,
I
something
mean,
like
they
that.
put buttons that big on like the Navy peacoats or have big buttons on them like that.
Right, right. So maybe they'll be able to find something that's like a match for it and show us something else like
Maybe it
that.
was like a lining button down the front of a military or something. Who knows?
Right, right.
Maybe we'll find out.
That's right. And this is lot 5. Shows
I think
test
it's
bits
really opened
going in the
up.
back. Jamie, again on the J Free 906 podcast. She was a special guest on there twice now, right? Or
Yeah,
3
this is
times. Or,
such a mystery.
and so they've been checking out all of it. And after like first just calling it the round structure, then
And now
apparently it's
it's
feature
site
1,
one.
feature 2,
Yeah, site one,
and
feature
so
one.
forth. Right.
Jamie's is site one, Helen's is site two.
Yes. So hopefully
And if
some
I'm
more
not
things
mistaken, I
come out of that. We
believe,
haven't seen anything about the other test pits, so maybe they just didn't find anything.
you
And if
know,
they don't find anything, a lot of times I'm guessing there's no need to show it if they don't find anything, because they do show a
yeah,
lot of things where they don't find anything. And so,
well, and they probably did those test pits just to cut to see how much further it extends out too. So
yeah, yeah,
'cause they
to
said it was
see
a
if it
very
was
large
bigger.
structure, what like 60 by
Yes,
40 originally, I
yes,
believe. Yeah, so
yes,
that's large. That's
indeed.
more than just this area because I think
So,
this is probably just like this is probably like 14 by 12 they're in right now, if I had to
and
guess.
the size of it led Laird to say it could have even been an industrial type of site.
Oh yeah, I saw somebody mention
Yeah,
industrial. I guess I didn't catch that,
yeah,
but
Laird
wow.
Laird said
Okay.
that. I think he said that when he was looking at the button in the lab.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe.
And did they say that's a well to the right there, where it was round? That was a well?
I don't recall that, or they thought it was at first.
Okay, okay.
Maybe
Maybe it's more like a latrine even. Who knows?
could be, could be.
Hmm. And I think that the water is right behind us in this photo. Like
It
this
could
is
be.
really a
Yeah.
lot closer to the shore than you would think it is.
Or just to the left, though, right? In this, or mostly to the left.
Um, the money pit and that would be to the left in this photo, yes. I think we're looking south.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not your
Anyway,
geography
that's how I've
person, so I
oriented
have no
myself.
idea.
So I could be wrong.
All right. All right.
It's been known to happen.
Uh, in the future, I'll try to do some
Well,
verification
see,
on that.
I don't know where this is. I don't even have this located yet. I've taken my best stab at
Right.
trying to figure out where this is, but they don't show any aerials, no
Oh,
overheads. We have very little reference points to base this
right.
location of this on, other than a LiDAR feature that looks like a round well
There's
that I think may be that round feature that they're working on the right there.
unless they cleared all this area out of trees on Google Maps, it's still all tree covered.
It
So
is,
there's not
yeah.
like a there's not like a
Yeah,
thing.
there's no down looking
Right.
reference or anything.
Although you do see the
When I
digging
find it, I
above the swamp
promise you.
on the Google Maps image for that area.
Oh,
Right above
okay.
the swamp, it does show one of Billy's digging days there.
Oh, yeah, I did notice
Yeah,
that. Yeah, even when I grabbed that photo, his excavator was still parked there.
right. And yeah, and so I guess I never thought of it. I always think of it like well, they put the camera there, and so they got to be oriented north to south, but they don't have to be, obviously.
Well, no, I don't
It's
think, but I think here the camera is looking south.
okay. Right,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking north is always going to be up. That's my problem.
yeah.
I always fixate
Okay,
on
what?
that. That's why I can't
You're
find
that
anything.
pigeon from the Verizon commercial. Which way's
Right,
north? He's like points up.
right. Not wrong. Not wrong.
Yeah,
All
that's not
right.
wrong, man.
All right. And then field trip time, or continue back to
See, this
Europe.
is almost my monastery.
Is it?
It's got my name in it.
Oh, yeah?
Bienzano.
Oh, all right. Sure.
It's like good Zane.
I got you.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. That means in Italian, too? As well as
Zao, the
Spanish? Bien in
bien
Spanish?
is good, I think, in
Okay.
Spanish. I was
Yeah.
just
Okay.
that all comes from some of the same Latin derivatives. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
just guessing. I am not an expert.
Yeah, no problem.
I just play one on YouTube.
That's right. Yeah, next to me, you would be the expert. So
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
awesome. Very smart. So this was built by Templars.
Cistercians. Oh no, this
This
wasn't
is not the
Cistercians. This
Abbey.
was
The Abbey
Templars.
is the
That's
Cistercians,
right.
right? This
That's right.
is built by Templars, and I believe we have. No, I guess we don't. I didn't get the front door of it where they were talking about it. This is from the star alignments.
Cygnus, the Swan.
Right. And this is the outer wall, the courtyard of that castle
No,
that we were
posted on
just looking
Facebook
at.
this yesterday morning. This actually.
Yep. And so basically, they first showed it, the outer wall there, which was not like north south really, it was off at an angle.
Yeah, and I think
And so to
Chris
line
Kensington
up,
said something about 40, 46 something degrees, I think, or 44
okay,
degrees. I can't remember. Apparently, those numbers are significant somewhere or another because
right,
he acted like we should know what those numbers meant. But,
yes. And so that lines up with Cygnus here. A lot of people are talking about, well, it's the cross isn't exactly like this. And I thought, well, maybe they're just getting, rough points in order to
well,
line it,
and
but then they
like
line
I've
theirs
told you
up straight.
before, that graphic that they show is not proportional, anyways. It's kind of at a skew. It's like it's
Hmm.
tipped like that a little bit, and the one arm is a little bit longer than the other. It's not. I don't.
On the
I
cross
don't.
below it or the
Yeah,
Cygnus
the red
itself?
cross that's below the
Oh, I see.
Cygnus,
Okay,
it's
gotcha.
it's not quite right.
Right. All right. Yeah, a lot of the ones that they do, graphics they do on here are just basically like for understanding, not guaranteed to
It
be at
is. It's just to give
exactly
everybody a
the
nice, pretty picture.
right, the right
It's
place.
not meant to be accurate.
But again, still darn close,
Yeah, I mean, right.
regardless.
And
So,
I've already called the cross Cygnus in my drawing because
oh, okay,
I'm sure that's what it is.
all right,
And essentially, if you stand at the headstone, like if you were there at a certain time, you could see 4 major constellations at like major cardinal points in the directional. So, which is pretty much how I'm sure that they set those stones. Stood in one spot, noted the locations of the alignments of the stars, and placed stones at the appropriate distances from each other.
Right. More on the stones coming up. 8-pointed star in that castle. 8-pointed
Beautiful.
star in the Bedford Barrens in Nova Scotia. About, I think they said 40 miles from Oak Island. And so obviously not an exact match, but still 8-point star. And this is this even 8? 1, 2, 3,
It is,
5,
yes.
6, 7, 8. It is, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And then people have already pointed out April or Jenny getting inky with it, pointed out that you could make the Templar cross out of it,
Right,
and then
if
I
you
posted I
color
posted a
this
whole
in.
bunch of colored in
Yeah.
spots that show all the different
Yeah.
geometries. And then see the okay, so if you're looking at the center of that, and then you see the points of the star on the outside that are in yellow, surrounded by red, that have a little flower inside of it.
Yeah.
So it's been mentioned before about trillium, and trillium comes from North America, and it's a three-leafed petaled flower. But I can point this out later. But notice the shape of those stars, how they look like it's like a triangle with it almost looks like the cairns. It's got that little hook in it, the two little 45-degree bends at the bottom. But there's also a feature on LiDAR that looks like that.
Hey, are those quadrilaterals?
Well, right, and even RJ mentioned that the church, that the monastery looked like the quadrilateral.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. We can talk more about that later, though.
Oh, okay.
But I think that's amazing. That artwork is just so beautiful.
All right. So this supposedly from research Professor Gaspani did.
Professor G's.
And this was called a abator.
Abator.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I think it's kind of the precursor to, or maybe even a generation later than the astrolabe.
Right.
So, and this could be even earlier because it looks more archaic than the astrolabes do.
Yes. That's what I was thinking as well. And so he said, I'll just build one.
I know.
And
I love it. I got 3 PhDs. I need something. I build it.
That's right. And I'm not seeing. Oh, look what I do see there, though.
Yeah, gold. Right. But you know what I didn't see? I didn't see the ribbon.
Oh, yeah, no ribbon.
I don't see the ribbon on there from the copper or the brass.
And that was on the astrolabe.
It was on the astrolabe. They were right there together, yes.
Just another view of it.
Yeah, and so like when you got it laying like this, I know it works more like a sundial when you're doing it like this, flat like this.
Yes.
The sun comes across that pointed one in the middle, and then as it follows those little arcs at each quadrant, that kind of tells you what time of the day it is, not only, but also where you are in the celestial plane or whatever.
Right. And what these and the astrolabes and the sextants do is allow you to get bearings, so you know where you're going. Navigate,
and I believe
how you can lay out buildings as well.
So this was probably precursor to the astrolabe, and the astrolabe was precursor to the sextant. And the sextant, I believe, added not azimuth, but bearing. So like your azimuth was figuring out the declination that you were from the stars, and then the sextant also gave you degrees north, south, east, west. So they just kept expanding on their knowledge, obviously.
Yes. And that's what you need is knowledge. Science is going to win the day at Oak Island.
I believe.
Yes. So choice drilling back. And so they're drilling the boreholes that we were talking about. The first one they do,
Avanti
Not the
one.
one right in front that I thought, and maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it's so Dumas can still get into the garden shaft and
Yeah, that's kind of
drain
my
some
thought. I
of
mean,
it.
that's why they
Maybe
started to that side. Yeah, just because if they can, they got to be able to still get in there to drain the water.
they were talking about, but right in front of it, actually
Yeah, I
more
think they're
to the truck
drilling
side
the.
of it was where they hit a void last year, drilling a borehole right in front of it.
That's the one that blew the air out that Jeff was talking about, I believe, right?
Yep, yep. And so,
So they're drilling here, I think, is C.5N 14.5.
all right, they did not say it. Strangely enough,
No, they didn't. They called it
normally they would
Avanti.
say
They called it
that.
Avanti one.
That's right. Right. Normally they would give you the coordinates. Normally,
Yeah, a lot of times they would, yes, but just based on where they're at and where the drill head's
yeah,
coming down,
that looks about
I'm
like where it
guessing
was from the
CN
map.
14,
Mm.
C.5N 14.5.
Yes, sir. So hopefully some results in all of those would be great.
Wouldn't it? Wood or gold.
Let's see. I don't remember. I think I just put this back in because this is a much better picture of that button.
Seashores on the seashells.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Google Lens, no help on this at all. It just showed me sand dollars and other
Yeah, I think somebody
shell
posted in
type of things.
Discord a photo of a sunburst, kind of like Laird said he thought it was.
Yeah, he did say sunburst
And it
design.
was it was 8 pointed as well, or it had 8 flares. So I don't know if this one would. One, two, three, four, five. It
Nine.
looks more like it has
10.
6, maybe. If you
If you
count
count
each
this
one of
one,
those as a
yeah.
flare.
Yeah.
If you count each line, then it's probably more like 10. One, two, three, four.
Yeah. But if you
Yeah,
just
maybe
go,
even.
I see what you're saying. If you just go like that, because there's two of them that come
Yep,
out.
yep, yep, yep.
So
Like that's a
one,
flare of
two,
the length of the,
three,
yeah,
gotcha. Four, then that's not even
5 there, and then
six.
6
Five
just
and
to the right
six,
of it,
yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
Cool.
But yeah. And when they said illuminated doc manuscripts, I swear they said Illuminati manuscripts.
Really? I don't know about that.
No.
Okay. You never know.
I mean,
You can't rule it out.
Skull and Bones, couldn't it be
That's right.
related to Templar also?
It could be. Absolutely. Is the lab data on it showing the gold is the lead
Skyscan
covering?
1276.
Is the lead covering on the tin base of this button?
Emma used the Skyscan 1276 to determine the
That's right. Is
material
that what it
composition
is?
of the object.
Well,
Non-destructive X-ray technology allows us. No, I'm sorry.
they probably got it for free, and so they say
That's what I
that
did.
every
I
time.
guarantee you it's a sponsorship. If they name it
Absolutely.
every time they use it, they get it
Absolutely.
$100 off a month rental. You know?
Absolutely. And I believe this was October 26th was the date on her computer. And it was 62 degrees, and that is pretty good
Yeah, that's decent temperature
for
for October in Nova
for
Scotia, I would think.
absolutely it is. That far
Yeah,
north, that far east, you will
yeah,
take 62 in October
I would think
26
so.
for sure.
You're sneaky checking her date and time on her
That's right.
clock. Ah, you posted that in the
I
podcast. I was like,
noticed that
dang,
stuff like that.
Steve.
Right, right.
Yeah, right. You and
Yeah.
all of us, we're all looking for the little small
Right,
things.
the
Where's
little
the
right, so
clues?
you can tell like when they did it, because it's no
That
secret
sounds.
that they show things out of order.
Yep.
Like they don't show each
Yeah,
episode
to
is
establish
not
a
in
timeline, you
order.
have to
Right,
do it. Yeah, they
right.
jump all over the place.
Yes, they
Yes.
do. Yes, they do. And so this,
And they do it to confuse us and to use it for content. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, they're making a show.
Way, that's what you do.
It's
It's
all about the show. It's all about the
entertainment.
ratings, right? So much graffiti on this, but this is the outside of the. Oh goodness, I believe this is called the Constert Conster.
Oh, I wrote it down, but I don't have my
I
notes.
believe Constert
Yeah, I
Quarry
think that sounds right.
ruins. Yeah.
It's a good thing they went in a group, man. That place looks
Mm-hmm.
creepy.
Yeah. As you can see up there in the corner, or actually in the middle, but up on the ceiling and side wall, there is There are carvings on there.
And just all those hand carvings of all the material they took out of there, man. That's just crazy.
Yes.
Doing
Yes,
all that by
hand
hand.
dug. All hand dug.
15
And
miles, 30 feet deep, all by hand.
and it was said, I can't remember who said it on that, again, the same J Free 906 podcast, that it was, the floor was higher. And then
Yeah,
they
Linda
just did
said
this
that
all. Is that what?
Corian posted that on his Facebook.
That's right.
And he said that they likely drew these when the elevation was higher, the floor elevation was higher.
Right.
And then I didn't realize that when I asked the question because I was legitimately like, how did they
Yeah.
get up there?
Right. That would be Corin Mall,
Yes.
co-author of the Jerusalem Files. Came out just
Great
a
book.
few weeks ago, I believe. And so the what I noticed too is on these, I guess this is wood right here at the top, but there's
Did you say wood?
also carvings on those. You think that's wood, or you think
No, that's definitely
you
still
don't think the
limestone.
stone with the splinters right there?
No, no, that's definitely still just. I think what you're seeing is a shadow of like an offset in the limestone, casting that dark area
All
onto the
right.
adjacent
Well,
area.
I'm talking about like the horizontal lines
Yep,
coming
yep.
off of it as well.
Yeah, I still think
But you think
that's
that's
limestone.
okay? All
Even though
right.
it's super smooth, man, I still think
Right,
that's
and it's
limestone.
not right. It's not like the limestone below it.
So let's think about this then.
Let's think about
So
it.
what if the drawings and the smooth areas are what were there before, and then they carved everything below that?
Oh,
So naturally, it was worn away smooth by water intrusion or whatever else was going on, and then that's when they drew these on there,
interesting.
and then they excavated everything away from that.
Because these are
Just a thought. Just
almost,
a thought.
yeah, these are where they carved up here. That's all smooth as well, and you can see
Everything they
there's a
drew on
line
was
right
smooth.
there. So they smoothed it first. They took the sandpaper
You're right. Yeah.
and smoothed
Right.
it out, and then
Give me my emery board.
that's right. Interesting thought.
But it is definitely smoother there. But I don't think it's wood. I definitely think it's still
Okay.
limestone.
And that's the kind of thing that we'll talk about in our
Yeah.
other podcast called Deep Dives,
Deep
where we get into
dive.
all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, so you can see again the striations here.
Yeah, and you can see them where they drew them here on the top
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, it's not perfectly smooth right here either.
No, it's not.
But and none of these are, I don't think, are an exact match for anything on Oak Island. But some of
And that
them
one
have
looks
the
real close to the
same,
lead cross, but it's not exact.
right? And many, many more dots than normal. This one right here is basically your Templar symbol with
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
4 dots around the cross. I don't know what the like an Alice in Wonderland type of the
Yeah, there's
card
definitely some.
people, the card queen or whatever she was. Is that
Oh, the
is
Queen of
that from
Hearts.
Alice in
Yeah.
Wonderland?
Alice in Wonderland. Look through the Looking
Is it?
Glass. Yes.
So
Lewis
I
Carroll.
don't know what that is.
I'm
So they
late.
were
I'm
playing
late.
checkers, I guess, or chess probably. I don't know what
Or
that
I
is.
mean, some family arms have those checkerboarded fields on them
Oh,
too.
all right.
And I don't know what the
Interesting.
checkerboarding stands for, but I'm sure we could figure it out.
And see if
And I'm wondering if all the
any
extra
Templar
dots were maybe
related.
a way of
Good.
tracking days.
Oh,
What if they were
interesting.
there for a certain number of days, so they put a mark in the quadrant for each day they were there or each week they were there? Who knows how long they were there?
That's interesting.
Just a thought.
And so is that another cross right there?
Yeah, and that's the one I was kind of talking about with all the
Oh, I
extra
see what you're
dots
saying. Okay,
around
okay.
it. So
I
what
didn't
if
even
each dot
realize that
was,
was a cross until just
yeah,
then. All right. And then next time on an all new Curse of Oak Island called Cone E Island, we assume in Cone
that's
E.
so
Been
coney.
pulling that up. Yeah, nice. Well, Trip to
Yes.
Europe continues to uncover clues connecting the Templars, Scandinavian culture, and Oak Island. So again, Vikings involved
My people.
on Oak Island. A clue found beneath a Nolan's Cross boulder. We're not telling you which one. Because, I mean, History Channel's not telling us. But
I
we
guess
don't know
if
either.
you don't know it's coney, you're watching the wrong show.
Maybe, I guess. May offer answers the team has been desperate for. And so we'll take a look at some stills from the preview. This is Marty, and he's basically just saying, "There's metals
Have you
down
found me
there. I
gold
want
yet?
to drill into them. Yeah, I want to hit
Have you
them."
found yet? Find me gold.
That's right. That's the code always. Find stuff.
Go find me stuff.
Yeah, short meeting and then find stuff.
Why are we sitting here? Go find stuff.
It's true. Well, they gotta wait to open up the core samples.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And so this is the one time or one of two times that Google Lens worked, and it did.
Oh, this is your castle. Yeah.
Right. It is Valkenburg Castle.
Jeff was like, "What's the name of it?" And I was like, "Tell him, Coach."
Right. Linda got to it before I did. I think.
She
I think
did.
I was
She's
doing
quick.
something, and
She's quick for as much stuff as she got going on.
That's
She's
true.
quick.
That's true. And so that is in the Netherlands, and so they will be heading there for this new episode this coming Tuesday, the 16th.
Yes, the day before my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday early.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, how about that? Going to be
I'm not going to tell you how old I am,
right?
but
21.
21 forever.
Right, and so this too has supposedly Templar symbols inside it, and I believe this was Corin again, right? That said.
This is the one that has the other 30-foot wall that has the markings on it, right?
Right, and also that has
down in the dungeon or down
as well.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yes, and so that is on that episode, and this. Emilio, I believe, says, or the other their guide for this particular place said this is a known Viking symbol, and this showed up nothing on Google Lens either. And so, is he talking about this circle thing and the line, or is that just?
Like, I don't know, because all I see is like 1, 2, 3, 4. I see like 8 vertical lines connected with a horizontal line.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, some people were
which
thinking
would give
maybe
it
a
7
sail,
sections.
a boat sail maybe, or something like that. But it did.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
It
Yeah,
did not
maybe
bring
like
up anything on
they
the
did
Google
use
Lens.
big square sails with Templar crosses on them. So
yes.
Or maybe it was just somebody doodling with a. I don't know. I'm like Tom. If you're gonna get up there and you're gonna get in a place like this, why are you? You're not just gonna be doing graffiti. It's gonna have some purpose.
Correct.
And I mean, I get the whole you're bored on the watch, but I think they were a little more disciplined than that.
Most of the stuff they did had reasons behind it.
Yeah.
And so this.
Well, they had 72 rules they had to follow.
That's right. That's a lot of rules.
I'm sure it probably included no doodling on your off time.
Right. I can't handle like 5 rules, so.
Right.
They were doing very well.
I can't even handle 10 commandments, let alone 5 rules.
So this presumably Cone E. And Marty said in the drilling down episode that aired after Abbey Road, he said that, you know what we haven't done? Instead of tipping it over, let's just
pick it straight
up, and then let the scientists go under there and tell us how the rock got there, whether glaciers put it there or if it was hand placed.
And I'm sure. So I guarantee Steve's got this surveyed, but
of course.
Did they just set it somewhere to the side, or did they put it back in the hole, or?
I think
because one day when I visited Oak Island,
up and away, and then when they were done, they might have put it right back in the same
spot. Put it back in there.
Yeah.
I mean, for the sanctity of the island, I would hope they put it back.
Put it right back.
When I come visit one day on a tour, I want to be able to see Cone E in its place.
I'm sure they'll put stuff back. If they moved anything away, I'm sure they'll put it back where it's supposed to be.
Or there'll be a plaster one there.
Right. Like the recreation of
Don't let Disney get involved. Whatever you do, Circa Trova.
Right. Okay. So, but yeah, very cleared out here. I don't think. I mean, trees gone.
Well, the road would be just to the left of this photo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the road passes by this one just on the left-hand side. And again, we can talk about this in deeper dives, but it's definitely right, depending on which way they're looking. But if I had to guess, I think the road's either right behind them or just to the left of them right there.
Yeah, see, I have a real problem with that because I'm always thinking, okay, this is, you look at Google Maps, you look at Oak Island on it. And so any place they set up the camera has to be coming from the south, and so this is looking straight north. But I know that's not how they do it, and that's just my brain.
Now I almost feel like this is looking down the axis. Like this is looking down the long axis.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, of the cross.
So
Okay, that's good thinking.
cone D would be like another 200 or 488 feet
Behind the camera or
through the camera, behind
Okay,
whoever's
I see
standing
what
on the
you're
end
saying.
there, Chuck.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but that's just guessing.
Okay.
I have no orientation on this one either, other than just knowledge of where things are. So.
Okay. Right. I don't even have that, so we're at a disadvantage.
Always.
Yes. And finally, this is what they find under it. Some people said it was a hair. Again, Google Lens, no help at all. It just brought up vapor trails from airplanes and space vehicles is the only thing it brought up for that. And again, somebody in the J3906 podcast said it's
hair.
Might be a right hair, and then somebody else said maybe it's an object here that is cracked right there.
Yeah, and then somebody said hairline fracture.
Right.
I think Jamie did.
Okay.
And then I'm wondering,
maybe she has
because
insight.
Jack also says, well, how does something like that get under a boulder in the swamp?
Right.
Well, if it was a hair, I'd be asking that question also, right? I wouldn't be asking that about a hairline fracture.
Yeah.
I'd be asking that about. And then again, the way they like to piece things together, they could have been talking about the spike with the wood on it because they found that in the swamp under a boulder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
They love to toy with my emotions.
They do. So I think that's it. Is it? Yep. And so I'll continue to recap these late Tuesday nights, and then we'll be doing the looks back and ahead, and also deep dives. Hopefully each week we'll do them as much as we can for you guys.
Schedule permitting.
That's right. You guys for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Sempre avanti.